Didn't I tell you that you should stay away? Wait. Something's wrong. Isn't it, my lord? Let's go for a walk, then. I doubt you want to reveal important information with my siblings running about. We'll never get a moment of peace here. Come on. We'll walk to one of my favorite spots. You can tell me what's wrong on our way there. So, what brought you all the way out to me, my lord? Didn't your father already expect that Count Reyer would strip Queen Christiana of her crown? What is so dire about this? He's going to kill her? Oh, gods. This is awful. I don't know what I thought Count Reyer would do, but this certainly wasn't it. This is what the people are so angry about, isn't it? Even I can see that the peasantry isn't happy. The queen was unconventional as far as nobility goes, but like her father, she was favored by the people. Some of them won't stand idly by while she's killed. Nationwide uprisings unless they're properly quelled. This must be difficult for your family to handle. And a bit saddening since House Kalmar stands with House Verling, even though you all have to pretend you don't. From the little bit I've heard you talk about it, seems politics can be cruel, especially if you intend to stay on top. I have to ask, though, why did you come to me, my lord? I am not well versed in these types of things, so I can hardly give you any advice, and there's nothing I can really do to help. I'm just me. Oh. You feel safe with me. I suppose that is a good enough reason. If I can relieve you of the burden, then I don't mind you confiding in me. It is my job, after all, but of course you know I care for you. Seeing you distraught saddens me. Just because I pushed you away doesn't mean I don't care for you, my lord. I do care for you, even if it isn't really my place to. However, if you come to me seeking comfort, I can hardly refuse you. I'm not strong enough to. But our relations are hardly important right now. There is something much more imperative to think of, such as how will your father quell the uprisings here in Baden, and further away in Leafallig and Kitslaken? I'm sure he doesn't wish to turn his armies against them, but it could come to that. I surely hope your father can settle everything with words alone. He's charismatic, but sometimes that isn't enough. May the Savior protect us, as she once did. Of course I'm scared. We're on the cusp of civil war if Count Reyer doesn't appoint a new leader. Even then, there still might be uprisings if the people don't agree with his choice. I'm less scared for myself and more afraid for my siblings. Some of them are still so young. I don't want them growing up in a war-torn world. Things have been hard enough for them. We're poor folk. Working for your father finally gave us enough money to feed everyone well. I don't want this future for them. Sorry, my lord. It wasn't my intention to make things about me. Thank you. Glad you don't mind. It's just hard not to think of them in times like this. Oh, you've arrived. This is my favorite spot. I'm glad the flowers are still in bloom this time of year. It's when the field looks the best, don't you think? I'm glad you agree, my lord. Come, Let us find a decent place to sit and talk of more things. I'm sure there's more on your mind than just that. How about here? Perfect indeed. Now, what else is on your mind? Count Reyer's plans? Are you privy to them? Oh, I see. Your father told you. Then, what are they? What? That is ridiculous! Making Prince Nikolaus king? Why, the boy is only 15. Oh no. This is what your father's afraid of, isn't it? They're going to use the boy for their own gain. Surely the former king would never allow this to happen. Not to mention the prince left with his parents for the Empire. Count Reyer can hardly take a boy halfway across the continent without alerting King Conrad himself. But, considering how things have been going as of late, I don't know anymore. Gods. Has your father sent word to King Conrad? Surely he needs to be warned of everything going on. What? The Verling family has a spy network. I had no idea. Goodness. Politics is already perplexing enough without things going on in the shadows. So, it's very likely you'll hear from them faster than any letter. Wow. You hear rumors about such things or read about them in books. Strange to think about them in reality. Though, I imagine unless you work with them, you really don't want to be their point of interest. Well, it's my intention to make you feel better, so why don't we speak of lighter matters, like... Oh, I know. I was cleaning in one of the upper floors one morning and took a break to look out the window for a moment when I saw your brother pacing the gardens muttering to himself. Now that in itself isn't too strange. He was likely thinking about important matters and just voicing them out loud. But he must not have realized your father was out in the gardens as well. I assume he was returning from a sparring session. Count Kalmar was giving him the most confused look and gesturing at him. But I think he was playing it up on purpose. The Count knew I was watching the whole affair. He looked right at me and waved. I got nervous and dived down for cover. Look, I know your father isn't scary, my lord, but you know him as your father. I know him as my employer. I'd rather be invisible to him. At least then he won't consider firing me. I still don't know I wasn't fired after I spilled hot tea on you. Surely your father knows I did that. There isn't quite enough staff for me to be completely invisible, and I'm sure everyone in the manor was gossiping about it. You requested him not to? Oh, I should have figured that out. Thank you, my lord. Usually I don't like having to depend on others too much, especially in a matter so serious, but I need my job. I won't even pretend like I'd be okay without it. Your father pays servants very well in comparison to other nobles. It's helped out my family a lot. Things aren't quite so dire anymore, my lord. As long as I maintain my job, things will be fine. I don't need money or anything. You've already done me kindness by forgiving my mistake. Well, yes. It was strange for me to be in the parlor that day. I typically attend to the cleaning rather than dealing with parlor preparations. I already told you, though. I was simply helping out a busy maid, and I'm not hiding anything. It's the truth. Fine. But don't do anything too rash, my lord. All right? When I first came to work for your family, a few of the maids didn't like me being there. I guess they thought they were above me in some fashion, even though we're all maids at the end of the day. They wanted me to tend to the majority of their duties. When I refused, they threatened that they would collectively go to your father and claim I was stealing from the household. I couldn't afford to lose my job when I only just got it, so I did what they wanted. Hence why I was in the parlor room spilling hot tea on you. You don't need to do anything about it, my lord. They slowed down on the requests after that incident. Maybe they were afraid of getting found out. Regardless, if you act out on it, people might realize the nature of our relationship. So just let it be. I still think that us being together like this isn't a good idea. It'll hurt in the end. But I suppose for now, there are a multitude of things going on in the world that could hurt us more. At least with you, there is temporary solace. You feel the same? I'm glad. We should still be secretive about things, but if you ever feel distressed again, you can come to me, and I, in turn, will come to you.